You are listening to the Unleash Greatness podcast with your host, Jonathan Mitchell. The best in personal, emotional, spiritual, and business development.
Hello, everyone. This is Jonathan Mitchell. Thank you for listening to Unleash Greatness. Today, I'm going to do kind of a mixture of some things, being a weekend, or I should say a week of Thanksgiving and holiday. So please tune into this. Love to have your thoughts and just, hang out with me for a second. Just as a reminder, please go to our website, unleashg.com. That's G, just the letter G.com, for a free meditation and work around like emotional health. It's very helpful to help you relax. Also, things about our sponsors. We love our sponsors like Natural Medicine Mamas and Wicked Audio and Rise Up the Company. We have a lot of amazing people. Love to make sure you guys give them some love and check them out. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and here on iTunes or Stitcher, wherever you may be listening. Thank you so much. I just want to start out by just saying thank you. Tune in. Today is Friday, Unleash Greatness. Thank you so much. I am Jonathan Mitchell. Here we go. Thank you so much. Today, this week has been Thanksgiving week. It's been kind of a crazy couple weeks for myself personally, and I'm not going to get into too much detail. And I know we usually do 3 episodes a week, and this last couple months, it's been awesome to do that. I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't been able to get as much out as usual. But I also want to make sure I kind of let today be a day where I just get to say thank you and hopefully leave a suggestion with you. And let me tell a story first. This last weekend was a week where I experienced a lot of emotion for a lot of reasons, some personal things going on, but also because I lost my dad's dad, my grandfather, a guy I was close to growing up. My dad owns a tire and mechanic shop up in Idaho Falls, and when I was growing up, I learned both from obviously my dad and from my grandpa about working hard and how to treat people in business and how to be good with people. Just learned a lot from him, and this last week I've been reflecting on his influence, his legacy, what he's done for both his kids, for myself, for other people, and just realizing some things I hopefully can share to you guys to be able to help you in your own life. And I don't know if anything's going to help at all, but just want to give some actual real-time thoughts of me going through this experience. He was older, he was 80, he's in his late 80s. And he was a guy that literally anybody you talked to who met him, they loved my grandpa. He was just friendly, treated everyone like his best friend, super good with business and people. He just loved what he did. And doesn't mean he's perfect. I mean, he had a lot of idiosyncrasies and quirks and loved to tease people and give them a bad time, probably where I got it from. But overall, I was just thinking this last few years for him, he was in a lot of pain, had some liver and kidney problems and some internal organs and was hurting a lot and just went through years and years of pain, and finally he's able to be released. Right before he left, he said that he saw a vision of his son, my uncle, to get personal with you all. My uncle killed himself when I was younger, about 11, 12 years old. And obviously it greatly affected my grandparents just because they lost a child to suicide, which is obviously not an easy thing. And he said that before he left, he saw my uncle teaching a class up in heaven. And he said, "Okay, Dad, I'll be right there. Hold on 1 second." Then he came back and got him and took him, to the other side. No matter what you believe about this life, or no matter what you believe about the afterlife, what may happen afterwards, while we're here and while you listen to this, what does matter is what you're doing every day about your legacy, about your life. And it doesn't matter if you're younger or older or whatever the age is. I mean, like this last week, I was able to interview a friend, which I'll put out here soon, about how it's never too late to start doing what you want to do and following your dreams, whether it's you think you're past your prime or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you want to go to college and you're 50, go to college, finish up. But what I want to focus on today is just taking the time to think about, what are you leaving behind? What do people remember about you? And you can't always control what people think about you. I'm not trying to say that, because I think everyone has people in their lives that they made mistakes with or had some problems with, have tried to make up for it or, repent or be forgiven of things they've done wrong. But ultimately, though, what are you doing on a proactive basis every day when you meet people? I guess anytime I have anyone, death always does something to me where I start reflecting on, how do I treat people? How am I showing up? Am I pushing myself to my limits in a good way? Am I kind to people who need to be kind to? Am I patient when I need to be patient? Am I willing to push myself to be a better person for everyone around me? Am I willing to be thankful to those who have done a lot for me? This being the week, and I know that today might be a little kind of skew on this. I don't know if this has a lot of order to it. So if I'm just rambling, I first off ask you to forgive me because I've been a little bit of an emotional week, and usually I can prepare my thoughts ahead of time. But today I just want to point out a couple things I would hope you'd look at. Number one, ask the question, what are you leaving behind? When you come into someone's life, whether it's for 3 or 4 days, or whether it's for 3 or 4 years, or 3 or 4 decades, what are you leaving behind to them? What kind of things do they feel after you've been in their presence? Do people feel more uplifted around you after you've left? Do people feel like they're better people? Do they feel loved? Do they feel cherished? Do they feel inspired? Do they feel driven? Do they feel motivated? Do they feel happy? Do they feel laughter? What do you leave behind is my question. Next question would be, this also being Thanksgiving week, do you tell people thank you for little, small things and for the big things? As you think back on this last year and you reflect on all the people who have done something for you, no matter if it's something small or big, or even if it's part of business or if it's a friend or whoever it is, have you taken the time to thank them? Do you take the time to really talk to people about the influence they've done positively in your life? Do you take the time to thank those people that may think that they haven't done anything at all for you whatsoever? I always think about, it's not any question in anyone's mind that I'm a Christian, love Christian principles, love the Lord, love what he stands for, love that he's able to think outside the box and push people's social limits of what they think should be or should not be. There's a story about how he healed 10 lepers and only how one came back and said thank you. I wonder how many times do I have people do something for me and I take advantage of it and I don't say thank you? Probably more often than I'd like to think. And this last week, especially thinking about my grandpa and thinking about what influence do I have on other people, then I think to myself, what have people influenced me? And have I thanked them for that? One thing that I realized with my grandfather, I told him I loved him every time I saw him. I told him how much I appreciated him and I was proud of him. I hope he knows how much he influenced me. I've told him that. I'm a very open person emotionally. But I always wonder, did I tell him that enough? Did I tell him how much he influenced me? Did I tell him how much I appreciated him? And honestly, I don't know if I did. So as you listen to this podcast, again, ask the question, what are you leaving behind? When you meet someone, no matter who it is, family, friends, business, whatever it is, do you leave them behind with something better than what they were before? And then secondly, are you thanking those who influence your own life, those who leave good things behind for you? Do you tell them thank you? My challenge to you is to find one person that has done one thing for you, that influenced your life in the last month, last week, this last day, this last year. I find myself often thinking of random things when I'm driving down the road in my car, going home from a project or a meeting or something, thinking, that was really nice of that person to do this thing last week when I'm just reflecting back. And I've started the custom now just calling that person saying, hey, thank you so much for doing this thing. I really appreciate it. And that's all I say. Just say thank you. My challenge to you is to find one person and just telling them thank you and just let them know you're leaving behind good things and your influence is powerful in my life. You would be surprised of how impactful your words can be. My other challenge would be is that when you do thank that person, to be specific in what you're thanking them for. To say, last week when you told me that I looked nice in this whatever outfit, or last week when you told me that it looked like I lost weight, or last week when you told me about doing this thing for my friend, or gave me some advice, or helped me with business, or came and sang a song for me, or whatever it is, I really appreciate that. I think sometimes we get so caught up in our own lives, so caught up in what things that we're doing right now, focusing on the next step. We don't always take time to reflect on what has happened and how much we appreciate those who have helped us and who are helping us currently, and those who we know would help us no matter when and where we may ask them for help. Take the time to reflect on what you leave behind and to give thanks for those who have left good things behind for you. Hopefully somewhere out there in the ethos is my grandpa listening to this, and I hope he hears me that I tell him thank you so much for influencing my life for the better. I hope that I can do the same. I hope that when people talk of me, they talk about how I talk to them and like they're my best friends, that I care for them and that they knew that I cared for them. Tried my best to live as honestly and with integrity as much as I could to make you proud of the name that you gave me. I want to live up to the family name and live up to the potential I've seen my grandfather, my father, and my own family live up to. And then now I get to decide how I can make it better. Take the time to reflect, take the time to think about it, and take the time to thank someone for it. This is Unleash Greatness. We'll be seeing you in December. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Thank you for listening.